Here everyone, you're here with me, Dave, on the Empire, and it is time for a video game review. This week we are taking a look at the latest and greatest from Sega and Lizard Cube. It is Streets of Rage 4, and it's available on pretty much every platform except mobile. Now, if you were a child of the 90s and you had a Sega Mega Drive, you would almost certainly have played one of the Streets of Rage games at some point during that period. They were phenomenal. And I was a Sega kid and I loved Streets of Rage 2. That was my jam. I have played it on multiple formats. I've had it on an emulator. I even bought the Sega Mega Drive collection on Steam just so I could play Streets of Rage 2 again. I do believe I still have the original cartridge and my Sega Mega Drive 2 tucked away in a box somewhere in my folks' house back in the UK. However, that means that this game, for me, carries a significant amount of legacy with it. So I was really interested to see what it was going to be like. Now, one thing that stuck with me straight away about this game is it is beautiful. It is a brilliant update to the classic side-scrolling wave-based beat-em-ups from that era. You get the original characters, Axel and Blaze, and they've added in two new characters, Cherry and Floyd, if you want to try up a different sort of approach to the games. Although, quite simply, there's not a massive amount of variation in the approach. People come at you, you beat them up, you rinse, you repeat, you continue. What I do really like about this game is the animation is super fluid. Now, what I really like about this game is that it plays just like a classic Streets of Rage game, which is exactly what you would expect. It doesn't have a lot of complicated combos to be able to defeat all of the waves of enemies that get thrown at you in any given level. Instead, it works on a simple attack, jump, grab, throw, and special move kind of thing, just like it did in Streets of Rage 2 and 3, which were probably the better games out of the original trilogy. So you get this really simplistic combat flow, but a game that still has quite a lot of risk and difficulty even at the most basic difficulty setting. It's a very enjoyable game to play. Quite simply, I think these guys have knocked it out of the park. It's a great game. It is classic 2D action presented in a modern, beautifully fluidly animated way. It has the classic characters, the classic moves. This game does not coddle you. If you are button bashing, you are punished, even on the most basic difficulty setting. It's a lot of fun to play. It supports 2-player co-op immediately and 4-player co-op as you progress through the game. There is a lot to like about what they've done here. Now, the music is brilliant, and that was one of the real standouts from the original. I believe that they've brought back some of the old composers to do new tracks as well. As you explore the game, you'll unlock a bunch of cool stuff that if you played Streets of Rage 2 back in the 90s, well then, it's just going to be layer upon layer of additional coolness for you. Now, I have played this on the Nintendo Switch and on the Xbox and on the Windows 10 PC. With those last two, both have been courtesy of the Xbox Games Pass because it is available on that. If you're a subscriber, you can download and install it both on a Windows computer and on an Xbox, depending on your type of subscription. It's very, very cool that you get that immediately. It's a new release. That's pretty cool. I bought it on the Nintendo Switch myself because I love the portability of it and the fact that you can turn two Joy-Cons into 2-player controllers on this game, so you can, with one Nintendo Switch, you can have an immediate 2-player game. They've really optimized the way in which you can enjoy this game depending on the platform that you play it on. I appreciate that. I think it's a really, really well done thing. So I realize I'm spouting like nothing but good things about this game, but it's difficult for me to fault this. Now, obviously, if you're not a fan of side-scrolling 2D beat-em-ups, or you're not a Sega Nintendo, wow, there's blasphemy. If you are not a Sega Mega Drive or a Sega Genesis fanboy from back in the day, then this probably won't hit home as hard as it did for someone like me. It is, however, a lot of fun. There's a lot to unlock in there, and it is a great addition to the modern pantheon of classic Sega titles out there, and one that I wholeheartedly recommend that you, at the very least, sign up for the Xbox Game Pass for 14 days and see if you can get a feel for it. And if you don't like it, no harm, no foul, happy days. If you do, well then maybe buy a copy, who knows. For me, it's an 8.7 out of 10 and one that I think you should definitely check out in the year of our Lord 2020. So, thanks very much for checking out this video game review. I have been your tech and gaming guy, Dave, here on the Empire. We do games, we do guns, we do video games, we do cars and food, and we do a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. You should probably hang around for a while, but if you are not hanging around, then I have been your guy, Dave, and I will see you